Good afternoon. Thank you all for taking out of your busy schedule to come to today's State of the City. It's significant and it's important. Why? You need to know where we have been and where we are going. And I especially want to thank the employees of the City of Killeen. I thank the department heads and staff, but it is the employees. It's the ones that you don't see on camera. You may not read about him or her in the paper, but they are truly the backbone of this community. Those are the individuals you come in contact with every day, no matter what the problem is, what's going on with your street, your water, you see a dog running in the roadway. Those individuals, employees, shows the customer service, the dedication and the service of the city every day, and I would like for you to give them a round of applause. And department heads, I thank you too. The city staff of Mr. Cagle, our assistant city manager, Mrs. Singh, thank you. Our city attorney, Mr. Grady, and Judge Christner, he is not here, but these are the individuals that fall under the scope of the city council. We rate them, and they do an amazing job for us, other than Ms. Singh. She falls up under Mr. Cagle, and also our city attorney, Mrs. Clements. But department heads, if you're here, please raise your hand. So we want to give them a round of applause. When I was deciding on what I wanted to talk about this afternoon, we hear a lot of numbers, and numbers are important, but numbers are as important as if you understand the numbers. So I believe in highlighting the individuals and departments that really have made a difference within our city, not only for the council, but also for the residents. And each department has turned in their information, or if they choose not to turn in their information. But these are the highlights of our 2022, and as we move forward into our 2023 with great expectation. One of my biggest priorities as mayor, and I can only speak as mayor, is transparency. So what I am going to show you today is our transparency, the city of Killeen, our city council, our city staff, and also our employees. So let's get started. This is our agenda for today. And I have made my own personal notes because we could not get everything on slides. And some of the things that I think is significant that you may not know about that happened behind the scene, it goes back to the word transparency that I believe should be shared with the community. The city of Killeen, if you don't know, is the 19th largest city in the state of Texas. And in the last 10 years, we have grown our population by 30,000 plus. What does that mean as a city? With more people, may come more problems, concerns, may come more solutions. But what I do know we need will be more staff. Because for us to afford you the top-notch services that you demand as a taxpayer, and you should demand that, we have to have the personnel to keep up with the growth of our city. And that is a positive problem. So we have to get back to the basics. And what I wrote down in my notes for back to the basics to me as mayor, we are sticking to the basics, which means listening and addressing the basic needs of the citizen of Killeen to make our city a better place. So it's all about you. And in order for us to do that, we have to meet your needs. And we need more staff to do that. So that's important to me as mayor. This is our 2022 overview highlights, some significant things that we have done as a city, and I will go into more details in the presentation, but what I wanted to point out with the largest tax rate reduction since 1990, that would be 62.33 cents for our FY 23, which is below the FY 2022 tax rate. So that is really significant. 22 other highlights that we have given more than $1 million in grant awards to small businesses, nonprofits, and also youth organizations. Why is that important? Because in order for our city to continue to grow and to continue to provide those resources to our residents, our nonprofits are organizations for residents that may not have the revenue to be provided these services. So our nonprofit plays a big part in the development of the city of Killeen. Our youth organizations, they are our future. So we must invest in our youth. Can we do more? Of course, but we have to stay within our budget. And our small businesses, they're growing throughout the city of Killeen. We not only have to support our businesses that we already have, but we also have to support our small business and recruit new businesses to come to our area. Our public work department, street maintenance, along with contractors, have done maintenance on 28 miles of roadways, and we're expecting to do more as we go into 2023, and that's significant because you can see the work throughout the city of Killeen. So you know when that $10 maintenance fee came out, they have put that money to work on behalf of the residents of the city of Killeen, so you can have safe roadways, especially for our youth that may be on bikes, our first responders that have to get to a scene in a timely manner. It's very important that we have safe roads. The highlight of this budget would probably be our sales tax revenue. Our sales tax revenue is continuing to go up every year, and we're expecting more as we go into our 2023 sales tax, and I made a note of that, which would be more than $2,400,000 or 7.70%. And trust me, the council and the city staff, they have somewhere to put that money. The city council top priorities. We have 4 top priorities in 2022, and this year we do have more priorities, but for 2022 was our capital improvement plan. That was significant to the council, and over 90 capital improvement projects totaling more than $52 million. Public safety, and that included a downtown engagement unit, a fire station, and emergency operations center. Employee compensation and benefits. This is a big one for me. We have employees every day that give 110% to this city, especially during winter storms or any disaster that has hit or plagued the city of Killeen. They have been in the forefront. I have been out just checking on people throughout the community, especially when it's extremely cold and there's a leak in a pipe or a broken pipe, and 40 or 30 below the 30 degrees, they are out there in the cold. They may have some gear on, but you cannot tell me the gear that they're wearing is protecting them from all the cold or in the heat. So in order to keep our trained, talented, professional employees, we have to make sure that we are giving them competitive pay. And that has to start from the bottom up, because if we don't do that throughout this nation, there are so many job opportunities that they can go anywhere with the training that the city of Killeen has invested in him or her and get a job paying more and doing less. So competitive pay, and that goes from the bottom up. We have to continue to do that. We can never get behind, especially with our first responders. And as I go more into the presentation, you're gonna see why I said that. We have to keep them. And let me go back one more on that one for them. The city infrastructure, $16.19 million has been toward our aging infrastructure. The city of Killeen has hired new employees, 5 new employees, and that's Kelly Snook. Miss Kelly, is she here? Will you raise your hand? She's the Executive Director of Recreation Services. As I stated, the judge is in court, and that's Judge Christner, and he's in charge of the court. We have Kate Chazito. She's our downtown revitalization. She's back in the back. Hey, Kate. We also have Edwin Revelle. He's our Executive Director of Development Services. Jamie Brew, she's the court administrator, so she's in court session. And attorney appointment is Attorney Holly Clemens, our city attorney. She's in the back. And Judith Tangelin, she's our Executive Director of Finance. I thought I saw her, but she must have stepped out. So give them a round of applause, please. 10-year vision, our comprehensive plan. The city of Killeen has invested time and revenue into this comprehensive plan. And we must follow it. We have to follow it. I know sometimes we may get off track, but it's so significant because we have the input from our stakeholders, our businesses, the community, other entities within the city, and also our residents. And we have taken all the plans and put them into one, and this is our 10-year vision. Our growth in fiscally responsible way, that's basically saying that if the city does not already have the infrastructure there, we should not be building. And if we do choose to build where there is no infrastructure, we need to plan it out. We have to build responsible. The positive community culture, that's just basically mean our outreach, getting involved, keeping the community informed. And then this is one of my big pet peeves, and I put a note on that one. And I said the most important piece of positive communication, or community culture, is to have open communication, the highest ethics, and transparency with the community. It is our responsibility when things happen within this city to be open and to be transparent with the community. If we make mistakes, we correct those mistakes. If we can improve, we improve. But we have to always have open, effective communication with our community if we're going to move forward with asking our residents to spend revenue on projects they may not agree with us on, but then they entrust us that we're doing the right thing on behalf of all the residents of Killeen. Goes back to the word transparency. The local business ecosystem, not only do we want to keep the businesses that we do have, we want to recruit new businesses, we want to support our small businesses, and we want to ensure that the jobs that come into the city of Killeen fit the needs of the residents that we serve. Improve our transportation network. We have to be able to have a system put in place that is safe for each and individual that's on the roadway. And that can be, you could be running, you can have riding a bike, a go-kart, whatever it might be. We have to ensure that our streets are safe in an efficient way. Our neighborhoods are more than subdivision. Our neighborhoods should have all the amenities in them if we're going to develop new neighborhoods. Why? If I'm investing my money and purchasing, especially the first-time homeowners, they need to have everything within walking distance. They should be able to connect to a coffee shop, a mail, a post office box, or just to connect to a laundromat. No matter where you live throughout Killeen, we have to ensure that it's more than just a neighborhood, that it's a subdivision. And I believe in those subdivisions, you should have dog trails, walking trails, you should have a play area. We should make our city the city that we want to always invite others to come and be a part of our community. And it starts now. A vibrant downtown, our revitalization director, Kate, has done an extraordinary job with also Mr. Lavalas in hosting community events downtown. And we can do better, and we are going to do better. But with this budget season, if you have liked the events that have happened downtown, please talk to your council representative, because we need to invest more. I believe we should have one monthly, but that comes with staff also. Back to Public Work Department, 28 roadway. miles in roadway in 2022, and more is to come in 2023. We also have 2 new traffic signal intersections, and that is Bunny Trail and Tallwood. I think that's Tallwood Drive. I'll make sure I give you the correct information. Tallwood. It is Tallwood and Bunny Trail. This is one of my favorite slides because of the 5,000 smart meters. What is so significant about this? It's significant because we're going to do a pilot program this year on the 5,000 smart meters. And what it will do, it will improve the accurate water usage, the leak detection, and the water resource management. And it's nothing like paying a bill with the comfort of knowing that this automated system will check for any leaks, any waste, manage of water, and make sure that my bill will be accurate. And I'm hoping, I know this just is a hope, that we can have these meters throughout the city of Killeen by the end of the year. I think this is one of the greatest investments that the city of Killeen have done, along with spending our ARPA funding. This disposable weight, the residents wanted more, so we went from 300 pounds to 500 pounds, taking under consideration this resource is free, and also our recycling service. It's throughout the city of Killeen, and we also have 2 more trailers that we have ordered. And this is also a free resource for the residents. Our Parks Master Plan is so important, and it was adopted by the council in February. What's significant about it? As the city of Killeen continues to grow, we have to be able to manage our parks. We have to be able for maintenance and upgrades and making sure that our parks are safe. So yes, there are needs for parks throughout the city of Killeen, but it goes back to what I stated earlier. For all the services that we demand and all the service that are required as a taxpayer, this is something we owe you. It comes with a price tag. And that price tag is the equipment, personnel, the upkeep of it. And that goes back to the rec services, our park and rec service. They work extremely hard. They do an excellent job in keeping our parks up. We just had a grand opening on our Conda Park. We now have a graffiti wall. And we also have a skate park, and that's enhancing the quality of life, not only for adults, not only for family, but also for our youth. And I think Park and Rec, you have a lot to do, Ms. Kelly Snook. But I thank you and your team for everything that you do every day to ensure that the quality of life of the park throughout the city are kept up. Thank you. Oh, one more note, sorry about that. The construction goal to begin the year on our senior center. We've been working on that project for a long time, but it's going to be an addition to the Rosa Herford Community Center that will start this year. So that's another rec service, many hats that she wears. This is a real big project for the council because they were really pushing for the COVID-19 grants to go to small businesses, downtown area, nonprofits, and also our events, and much more funding is needed. And we know that the only way that's going to happen, because we only have 3 revenues for money for the city of Killeen. That's sales tax, property tax, and franchise tax. So the council is currently talking about a bond, and some of these things, the big things that we might want to do will go within that bond. I'm not saying one way or the other how to vote for that, but I am saying that the services that I believe as a resident I deserve, I know it comes with a price tag. The Killeen Police Department, our downtown engagement unit ran by Sergeant Angela Mathis. She has 4 police officers. That was a part of one of the council's priorities, and that came with vehicles, equipment, and the purpose of that is to engage with the community at our events. It's also to engage with our business owners and just really to be integrated within our downtown area, and to also ensure that they patrol our parks to make sure that they're safe. The police department, as you know, crime is everywhere. One of the things I learned that I already knew, but I learned that the bigger your city, especially when I went to the mayor's conference, what happens in Killeen cannot compare to what's going on in their cities. But the police department is always, we're short. Every day, the men and women put on that uniform to go out to protect us, our first responders. They are the gatekeeper of our city, regardless how you feel one way or the other. It takes a lot to get up and leave your family not knowing you may not come back home. So it says a lot for what they do. And we need to continue to keep our pay. We're competing against others throughout the city, throughout, the Central Texas area, and also the states throughout the U.S., because we have some of the best. And they need the top of the notch equipment and vehicles. It comes with a price tag. When we have budget season, everyone says the first responders are always at the front with the budget. Of course they are. Because without them, we would not be able to sleep at night. Without them, we won't be able to ensure that our kids are protected when they're not with us. So that's significant to us and the council as a whole. And I hope that could be significant to you. Killeen Fire Department had a ceremony for Push In. And that was a community event where they had purchased 5 new fire trucks. And they asked, Fort Hood came out and the community came out, and I tried, but I failed. You know, you cannot push a fire truck with one person. That's just almost impossible. But we had a combination of people come together. We pushed the fire truck back. So that was significant. But what's even more significant, I told you, our first responders, 29,000 plus incidents are responding, including 159 structure fires. The part you don't know, which I wrote in my notes, the overall value of the property saved by the department quick response to these infrastructure fires was $23 million that they saved those individuals. That is significant. And also the 29,910 emergency medical service calls. The department reintroduced Medic 22 in rotation to better serve the community due to the increased 911 calls for medical services. We need to give them a round of applause. It is really hard. I went to a little training back in a couple years ago where they allow you to put on the uniform, the whole uniform, and try to walk in it and breathe in. It's very difficult, but to have 159 structure fires that they responded to, I mean, this is around the clock. And if you drive in your vehicle throughout the city of Killeen, it's going to be a fire truck or it's going to be a police car, constantly on the move. At nighttime, you can just listen. So there's so much going on in the city of Killeen, and they're always there. They're always there. And I'm truly thankful for our first responders. I'm thankful for Park and Rec, Waste Management, Community Development, even legal, the whole staff, especially our downtown Killeen staff. I can never say enough about our staff. They do a lot of work, and this is my time today to highlight that. They do a lot of work. They also purchased land for another fire station that's meeting the needs of the community, and also the Emergency Operations Center, which we will have a City of Killeen as a training facility. That's why we gotta constantly have a competitive pay, because why are we training them up to go somewhere else? And also the police department can also utilize that facility. And they received 2 awards, the Fort Hood Phantom Warrior Award and the United States Army Community Partnership Award. The Garrison Commander will be here at 5 o'clock to also present Chief Kambinski and the fire department team an award. So we can give them a round of applause for that. And I see Assistant Chief Gearhart, thank you also and your team for all your service at the police department. So Killeen Fort Hood Regional Airport is doing extraordinary things, and you know we're going through that rebranding name. And Mr. Wilson, will you raise your hand? He's the director of the airport, and he's doing an extraordinary job. But what I want to highlight about this particular side is the projects that they worked on, the overall value of that's the police, I'm sorry about that, forgive me. The fire department, sorry about that. The airport is that the airport received 3 grants for the airfield construction project, taxiway B rehab, and the corporate hangar number 2. But what makes this significant is that in all of these projects that they have completed, 90% of the projects was funded by TxDOT Aviation. That means that they received grants, and the city of Killeen only paid 10%. And that's very significant in our budget. And the projects have gone from $3 million to $675,000. And on both of those projects, 90% of the project was funded by TxDOT Aviation. Thank you, Mr. Wilson, for saving the city of Killeen taxpayers' money. Thank you for that. Thank you. As the airport continued to try to secure a hub for Denver and Charlotte, we got a brief by Mr. Wilson and his team, as I stated earlier, a rebranding Fort Hood. The construction has begun on Taxiway B, and they're designing the Taxiway Rehab project for Skylard. The historic of downtown Killeen, what can I say? If you want to start a business, downtown is the place you want to start. We're growing. We're doing a lot of innovative things downtown, and I expect by the end of 2025 that whole downtown Killeen will be something that we see in a movie or see in another city. Because we have the downtown revitalization staff along with Mr. Revelle and Mr. Reynolds and his team, this constant park and rec too, Ms. Kelly, working hard to keep that area clean. But the city invested $1 million into downtown through grants, and each of the nearly 24 businesses invested $5.7 million of their own funding. So how can you ask someone else to invest if you don't have any input? And they did that. It has brought 64 jobs downtown, and that is a big accomplishment for the city of Killeen. So the breakdown is $3.7 million in ARPA grants, $274,000 in facade grants, and $2.8 million in the North Killeen Revitalization Program. So 9 businesses took advantage of that. I want to send a shout out, as the kids would say, to Fort Hood. Better Opportunities for Soldier program, that's the BOSS program on Fort Hood. They teamed up with the Downtown Revitalization team, Kate, Ms. Kate, she had them to come out and they helped us with our cleanup downtown. And that was over 10,000 pounds of trash and brush. And I saw Mr. Reynolds' team, Public Works was there, and also Recreation Services. And the unique thing about the city of Killeen department head, they have a unique relationship because they're always working together for the good of the people of the city of Killeen. And I like that about our department heads. They're always in it to win it. And if you're not for Killeen, then they get mean. So there are, so you have to be Team Killeen, and they instill that value also in their employees. Fort Hood, we have an adopted unit. Colonel Foster introduced me to our 1st Cavalry Division, 2nd Armored Brigade Combat Team. They are currently deployed, but I'm working with the Real Detachment Commander, Lieutenant Colonel James, and we want to support them. as well as we want them to support us as we move forward. And having a partnership with the surrounding city mayors and also with Fort Hood. And when I say surrounding cities, as far as Lampasas. I have working relationship with all the mayors, and I think that's very important, and it shows up in our interlocal agreements. When something happens in a city, we're always there together, standing together for a cause. And that says a lot about the teamwork and how we as a city of Killeen always try to be an example to follow when it comes to bringing each other together for a greater cause bigger than ourselves. We support the National Mounted Warrior Museum, and one of the things about Fort Hood, they listen to us. They listen to our veterans, and we just have to continue to work together as a team. Looking ahead, I cannot stress enough about our comprehensive plan. That is what we should follow, not starting 10 years, but right now. We should stay focused on the mission. There are a lot of needs and wants, but we only have one budget, and each council representative, we're going to fight for our district, we're going to fight for the residents, but we have to keep in mind that we have invested over $300,000 in this comprehensive plan, and for the mayor, I can only speak for me, these are what I see moving ahead. We have to stay focused on our comprehensive plan. The biggest things from this, our property tax will add to our tax roll this year. Also, the city council went to see our state representative, House of Representative Buckley, and also our Senator Flores, and we discussed with them moving forward. Especially, we love our veterans, and I don't think I can stress this enough, being a veteran and also being a 100% veteran. We love our veterans, but when the state decided that if a veteran receives 100%, he or she would no longer pay property tax. It's not only the city of Killeen, San Antonio, El Paso, all these places where cities have military bases, and you may not, it could be Harker Heights, Lampasas, Corpus Cove, it hurts our revenue. So we're only asking the state, would you please reimburse us the 100% veteran exemption that you put in place? It has nothing to do with us not liking veterans. We just want the money back. That's all. And the reason we need it back is because if we do not receive it, we will have to raise fees. And why do we raise fees? Well, everyone, including me, as a 100% veteran, I have to pay fees. So why should we penalize the residents that do not receive 100% disability? So we're trying to push the state. That's all we're asking for. We love our veterans, but we really would like that reimbursement. That is significant to our area in our surrounding cities. Another great investment the city of Killeen has done is this Station 42, 368 units. And it's significant because we're in a houses crisis. And we really need homes for our residents, our veterans, and also for HUD. They have vouchers to give to their clients, but they have nowhere to stay. So that's significant. These are our major road projects. If you want to know anything about them, you can go online, but I can tell you every one of these: Bonnie Trail, Stagecoach Road, Gilmer Street, Watercrest Road, Watercrest Road and Willow Spring Road, all of them are in the design phase. Stay informed. I hear so often that we don't know what's going on in Killeen. We don't know what projects or what events. You can stay informed by going to our KilleenTexas.gov. There's nothing that happened in any department that does not come through our communication. Ms. Janelle, Ms. Ford, her team, everything. If it's a flyer, it's going through print service, which they do a lot of work, a booklet. If you see anything on Facebook or internet, it's coming out of that department. So stay informed. This is my favorite slide. We have the City of Killeen website, we have our Facebook, we have our Instagram, we have Twitter, we have YouTube, and I even have a monthly city insight that goes out through your water bill. So please stay informed with what's going on with the City of Killeen. As I conclude, the one thing that I will say, out of everything that I have spoken, I guess if I move, you won't be able to hear me. The one thing that I will say, that we have council members in here, Councilmember Sagara, I thought I saw him, Councilmember Cobb, I saw her, and any other council member, raise your hand. We cannot do this without you. This is a team effort. Mr. Cagle, his staff, the department heads, their employees, they work hard every day by the directions that's coming from the council. If you're not involved in talking to your council member, he or she, the decisions will be made, and you will call me or email me, and you will say you had no input, but you do have input, because we listen. So get involved in knowing who is your council representative. The city staff can only take so many emails and phone calls because it's our responsibility as a council to be your liaison. So get involved, attend our council meetings on Tuesday or workshop, and if you cannot attend, I just went over, I cannot stress enough how to stay informed with all the resources that we have to offer. Our employees that you see every day, take out your time and schedule to say thank you. Appreciate what they're doing. Because if we don't, some other city will. And I thank you once again, communication, department heads, Ms. Singh, Mr. Cagle, and our employee and team for everything you have done in council to make our city a better place. Thank you.